Hello, and welcome to Gus McDoll Strategy and Tactics, and thank you to our subscribers. I'm Nick McDoll. In this series, we use the missions in the game Firefight to illustrate one or more aspects of World War II infantry tactics at the company level and below. In this campaign, we are playing through the Battle of France as the French, with 8 battles over the course of May and June 1940. Everyone knows about the historical outcome, a French operational and strategic defeat at the hands of the Germans. But I want to see if the French, using historical weapons, tactics and doctrine, can defeat the Germans at the tactical level. In this episode, Counterstrike the Flaumont industrial zone, Flaumont has recently fallen to the Germans, so your orders are to lead a counterstrike to take back this important town. The centre of Flaumont town is dominated by an industrial zone of small factory units and a railway yard. It's a natural defensive point and will be hard to capture from the enemy. Each episode we conduct basic mission analysis, develop and analyse possible courses of action, then decide and execute the plan in real time, followed by lessons learned. Please remember to like the video and subscribe for more great strategy and tactics content. And if you want to buy me a coffee, the links to PayPal and Patreon are in the description. The Germans have crossed the Meuse and broken through French defences at Sedan. We must stabilise the front so reinforcements can be brought up by rail. This is a map of the battle space, overlain with terrain features in red. If you're interested, these maps are available in the game folder. The Flaumont Industrial Zone consists of small factory units and warehouses in sectors Able, Baker, Charlie, Dog and Easy. In the centre is a railway yard fed by the east-west railway line. Sectors Able and Easy to the north are separated by a little ridge and a low berm from sectors Baker, Charlie and Dog in the centre. A large hill separates those sectors from the town of Flaumont in the south. The French hold the flat hill and sector Baker in the east. The Germans hold the remainder. This is complex terrain. The flat hill and the large hill provide good observation over the area. Long streets crisscross the area and provide natural fire lanes for machine guns and cannon. The built-up areas provide ample cover and concealment. Each factory and warehouse is a potential defensive position. The buildings also reduce the effectiveness of artillery. Each of the sectors in the industrial zone represents an obstacle to movement. The roads between them and the open area of the railway yard are also obstacles as they are likely covered by fire. Capturing each sector will be one challenge, moving between them another. Key terrain is the high ground that provides observation of the adjoining areas and fire support locations. Decisive terrain is around Easy sector as the rows of buildings to the west provide a base of fire controlling the railway yard and movement between the northern and southern sectors. 3 avenues of approach suggest themselves: through Able sector in the north, through Charlie sector in the centre, and from Flaumont through Dog sector in the south. I'm expecting the Germans to adopt a 2 forward 1 back formation, with a platoon each in Able and Charlie sectors and a depth platoon in Easy sector. The large hill may be a location for a machine gun or anti-tank gun. The mortar will be located behind cover from direct fire, and the area north of Easy sector seems suitable. Finally, I don't know if the enemy have armour or where it would be placed. However, it would make sense for armour to be to the west of the railway yard, using long lines of fire and with access to the roads to move up and support the platoons as required. I do not know the forces at my disposal until the mission starts. From the last battle, I will assume I have some infantry squads with machine guns, a mortar, and some armour. The first course of action is a left flanking attack. The tanks would seize the large hill to provide overwatch. The infantry would clear Flaumont to the south, then pivot north to clear Dog, then Easy sectors. On-call artillery would pin any Germans in Charlie sector. Smoke would obscure the assault across Little Ridge, as high explosive suppressed the defenders in Easy sector. While sound, this plan forces the French to take a long route to the objective and has some risks. First, the tanks at Large Hill could become decisively engaged from Charlie sector and beyond, which would divide my focus and see the French fighting 2 battles. Second, the assault on Dog sector would be vulnerable to flanking fire from Charlie sector. Third, the mission requires us to clear the industrial zone, and this plan would leave the French in Easy sector, with Germans in Able and Charlie sectors able to cut off reinforcement or resupply from the east. The second course of action is a frontal assault on Charlie and Dog sectors. The right flank would be anchored on the berm. Tanks would seize the large hill as an intermediate objective, protecting the left flank and providing support by fire. French forces could then pivot north to take Easy sector. The remaining Germans in Able sector would be forced to withdraw or be pushed out of Flaumont. This is a good plan and leaves the French in control of all except Able sector. However, the plan would also pit the French against most of the German force. The Germans could also fall back to successive defensive positions in Dog and Easy and Able sectors as the French advance, and the Germans in Able sector could deliver flanking fire throughout the German assault. This would be the slowest and toughest way to clear Flaumont and could result in high casualties. The third course of action is a frontal assault through Able sector. Once the intermediate objective was seized, the French would sweep Easy sector north to south. Tanks would provide fire support from Flat Hill and cut off by fire any movement to or from the south. Mortars and artillery would provide on-call fires and smoke obscuration. This plan would give the French a shorter distance to the objective, fewer Germans to fight at any one time, and leave the French ready to push south to clear Charlie and Dog sectors with a clear resupply route to the east. Chapter 6 – Special Combat Cases. Article 5 – Urban Combat. Progression is executed along edges and streets, avoiding the narrow ones. Units march in single file along the houses on each side of the street, the tanks in the middle, the men on one side watching the openings in the roofs on the opposite side. In some cases, windows can be neutralised by automatic weapons fire. Let's review our forces using the information panel on the bottom right of the screen. This shows soldier statistics and vehicle controls. Unit 1 is a Schneider AMC P16. This half-track is armed with a 37mm SA-18 gun and rifle machine gun in a turret. It is commanded by Sous-Lieutenant Lebras. Unit 2 is a Renault R35. This cavalry tank is armed with a 37mm SA-18 gun and rifle machine gun in a turret. It is commanded by Sous-Lieutenant Bidot. Unit 3 is a Saumur S35. This cavalry tank is armed with a 47mm SA-35 gun and rifle machine gun. It is commanded by Sergeant Salez. Unit 4 is an infantry section, commanded by Sergeant Guerry. The section has an FM-24-29 light machine gun, Berthier Model 1916 carbines, MAZ-36 rifles, F1 grenades, and a VB grenade launcher with 12 rounds. Unit 5 is a Renault AMR-35. This tank is armed with a rifle machine gun. It is commanded by Lieutenant Gaz, in command of the overall operation. Unit 6 is an infantry section, commanded by Sous-Lieutenant Godefroy. It has the standard equipment. Unit 7 is an infantry section commanded by Sous-Lieutenant Keller. Unit 8 is an infantry section commanded by Sous-Lieutenant Boisseau. Unit 9 is a heavy machine gun team. It is equipped with a Hotchkiss 1914 machine gun with 2,000 rounds. The team is commanded by Caporal Guillard. Unit 10 is a medium mortar team armed with a Brandt Model 2731 81mm mortar with 60 rounds. The team is commanded by Soldat Briere. Our forces are positioned for battle. There is the primary objective, in Easy sector. And so we begin. The infantry sections move forward to seize the first row of buildings. The Renault R35 moves forward to support. The Sommoir S35 with its 47mm SA-35 gun remains on Flat Hill as fire support. Godefroy's section stacks up in single file, ready to move down the road. On the right, Keller's section takes over the first warehouse. In the centre, Sergeant Guerry hops the fence and leads his men into the warehouse. The P-16 pushes forward to support Godefroy's advance. Boiseau's men deploy from the woods into the first building, forming single file as per Doctrine. The French have now lodged into Able sector. No sign of the Germans. The heavy machine gun team has covered the initial advance from the right flank. It now leapfrogs 2 buildings down. The French are in position to commence the clearance. The men in single file along the houses on each side of the street with tanks in the middle. Godefroy and the P-16 push forward under the watchful gaze of Keller's men. Boiseau's men push forward, supported by the R-35, with Guerry's men scanning the roofs and windows opposite. Guerry now pushes forward, forming single file. Godefroy moves to the adjacent building. The Hotchkiss keeps moving up on the flank. Keller leapfrogs forward to the next warehouse. The Sommois S-35 is in Overwatch. The French are roughly keeping in line. This maximises firepower to the front. Keller clears the second warehouse. The Renault AMR-35 moves forward on the right flank. The French are in position. No sign of the Germans. Boiseau on the left moves forward, as does Guéry. The R-35 moves up. Godefroy pushes forward, and the P-16 takes position in the middle. Keller and the Hotchkiss team also move forward on the right. The AMR-35 moves up the road to join them.
Get down!
Contact! Anti-tank gun. A 5cm PaK-36 is on the crossroads firing down the road. The R-35 moves behind cover. The mortar opens a fire mission at 360 metres.
Get down!
Hit! The Sommois S-35 destroys the Panzerabwehrkanone with a single shot from Flat Hill.
Hold your fire!
The value of Overwatch. It keeps firing at the crew. That gun was perfectly sighted to cover the roads and the railway yard. The R-35 joins in the firing. Infantry spotted in the building opposite. The R-35 sends in an HE round.
Open fire!
The mortars send in a fire mission at 220 metres. Soldat Lecon is killed by a bullet in the abdomen. Boiseau's team need to move forward. P-16 moves closer to the Firefight. The mortar moves to fire for effect. Meanwhile, a machine gun opens up from one of the buildings in Easy Sector. The mortar opens a new fire mission from 377 metres.
Open fire!
The P-16 advances cautiously. The enemy are mortaring Boiseau's position, but the rounds fall short. It really is time for them to move. The enemy squad flees across the railway yard. They are gunned down as they run. One of them surrenders. Boiseau gives the order to move.
Open fire!
His men advance across the open ground to the enemy position.
Open fire!
Reinforcements have arrived. A Renault R35 and an infantry squad.
Get down!
The enemy mortars appear to be firing from behind the row of buildings in Easy Sector. The French mortar opens a counter-battery fire mission at 424 metres. Guerry's men advance alongside the P-16. The R-35 targets the machine gun in the buildings across the railway yard.
Open fire!
Keller and the AMR-35 move forward to clear the remaining warehouse. The Hotchkiss moves up in support. This is a good time to pause the action for now and come back to the battle in the next episode. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and donate, and stay tuned for the next episode.